So one thing I always used to struggle with a lot is to finish my drops. I always felt like the last 10% were missing or they just haven't been as powerful as from other artists. If this is also a problem you have, then I have a guideline in this video that will help you starting your ideas as well as finishing them. Let's go. So guys, the first step is always that the musical idea needs to sound good. It is the foundation of the song, and if this one doesn't sound good and you are not happy with it, basically everything that comes afterwards will also not sound good, no matter which sounds you use. So I quickly created this melody here together with these chords, and I just like it, and this will be our foundation here for this video. And don't underestimate the placement of the notes here. For example, if I would have used let's say a G here instead of the F, it would have sounded not really so good anymore, you know? So here it just doesn't sound right. So the notes really need to be in the correct place. And once we are kind of happy with the musical idea, we can already go into the sound selection part and try to find cool sounds for the lead, for example. Let's go. And here you should always roughly have some idea in your head of how the lead should sound, like your main lead. You don't need to exactly know how it will sound, but at least some rough direction, you know. So I found this sound here, which potentially could work. It has this plucky character to it. We might change it later, but for now we will use this one here. And then what I try to do is to really just find sounds that work really well together with this one here. That's the sound selection part now, finding the right sounds that work really well together. And you can always let the main lead play and then click through other presets, and then you can immediately hear how they would sound together. So this one here could work, gives it a bit more attack. This one I think also works, it has this weird character to it. And then let's maybe also search for a more sawish kind of lead. Maybe this one here an octave higher. And then we can already add some effects to it just to get a kind of idea of how it would sound. Just the basic stuff, some reverb, sidechain and OTT. And now where I hear it, I think we can also try to add a lower lead maybe. Yeah, for now I think it's good, I like it. It sounds quite attacky and punchy. We might later on change some things to make it sound more professional, you know. But right now we continue with the mid bass. Now this is the mid bass we will use, like the rhythm of the mid bass. And afterwards I will show you again the layering process of it. And what you can do now is you can let this mid bass play together with the lead, and then you can immediately hear again if it would work together or not. This one doesn't really work here in my opinion, so this one works better. I like the character of it. And now it's just again, yeah, about the sound selection, trying to find good sounds that work with this lead well. Maybe this one. And let's try to maybe find one more. So I also added this sound here. And then we immediately want to balance them again nicely so they sound like one sound together. Like this one would be too loud, you know? This one sound is overshadowing all the other sounds, so that's not what we want. Maybe like this. And then we can listen again to it together with the leads and see how it sounds. Some sidechain. And I think we are already getting the idea down here. And then we can already go into the chords and you will see it follows the exact same principle and we will do the exact same thing. So I quickly made this chords here which follows the exact same rhythm as the mid bass. Maybe let's make them a little bit shorter, I think. Something like this. And then I just let it play together again with the other sounds and try to find a sound that matches well. So I found this sound here and I think it could work well as the first sound. It's a really nice attacky character. So I think this one also works really nice together with the other sound here. And maybe we can open it up a little bit more. Then let's search again for one more sound, maybe. Yeah, I think this one also works really nice. And then we already have our chords for now, and I just quickly try to balance them a little bit more again. So it sounds more like one sound again. This is a bit too loud. Yeah, I think like this it sounds good for now. I really like to put the OTT quite high in the chords always, because it really gives this nice high-end crunch character to it. And then together with all the other elements, or with the lead and the mid bass, it sounds like this. Yeah, I think it's definitely getting there. And I will just quickly add a sub bass. So, and now I would say it's time to add some drums. And here as well, we just try to find a kick that works really nice together with all the elements now. What I always like to do is to orientate really on the vibe of the whole song. So I feel like our drop here right now, it sounds a bit dramatic, kind of. Like it doesn't really sound happy or dark, it's something in the middle, I would say. For example, this kick here wouldn't really fit, I think, because it has way too much high end and it sounds way too punchy in my opinion for this kind of track. Just doesn't fit in my opinion. So we try to find a kick which is more low-mid orientated. Maybe this one here. Also, let's find for a clap quickly. Also here I will try to find a clap which is a bit more rounded on the highs, you know, and doesn't have so much high white noise frequencies in it. I think this one could work. And then we can of course also try to find some nice drop claps here. This one would be too high in my opinion. Yeah, I think we go with this one here. So guys, and if we listen to the drop right now, you will notice it already sounds quite decent or good, but it's still missing some power. And that's usually where some additional layering comes in. So that's how it sounds right now. It's still missing that bit of punch, you know. So all I was doing now is to layer more sounds on the mid bass and on the leads. And for the mid bass I actually used 4 more sounds and they sound like this. Give some attack, this one. This one is an octave lower to also cover this area. And this one is just a bit sawish, you know. And the full mid bass sounds like this now. So a lot stronger actually. And for the lead I actually added 8 more sounds, so quite a lot. You normally don't need to add that much more, but it was just working here and I wanted to have it really, really fat. And the sounds I layered here, let's also quickly go through them. Some aggressiveness, this one. This one has some low mids to it, some depth. The last 2 sounds, they were 1 octave lower, so I also covered this range. It's a plucky sound with some attack. Yeah, and then just this vocalish kind of sound, you know, which I felt like was missing. And then after I balanced them again nicely, it sounds like this now. So a lot stronger now, a lot fuller and way more powerful. And when we listen now to a drop, you clearly hear how it changed and how much power the drop has now. Yeah, sounds way fuller in my opinion and has some punch to it. And then once I'm happy with the power and the punch of the drop, you know, what I always do is I try to ask myself, what can I do to make the drop even more interesting and to fill it more up? So for example, ear candies or just some ambience in the background, some arps maybe. So here in this drop, for example, I added this tape stop effect on the mid bass, always when the lead is not playing. Fills it out a bit nicely, this area. Like the dingo effect. And together with the lead, it sounds like this. So it just fills out this space a bit, you know. And then I also added this arp here in the background. On its own it sounds a bit weird maybe, but in the track it was working, I think. And here I just use some sidechain and some delay with Echo Boy. I can really recommend this plugin here. It's a really good delay plugin from Sound Toys. And then we also just have this ambient sound here. This one is really quiet in the background. And then I added another small ear candy here, which are these bass shots. So basically always on this last bar here, it plays together with these last 2 mid bass notes. Without them it would sound like this. And with them. And then we just have this white noise sounds here, 2 downlifters and 1 white noise in the background, also really soft. And then I also added another small ear candy, which is this string sound here. Also just on the last 2 notes of the lead, to make it a bit more interesting. And then with everything together we have a really nice future bounce kind of drop. And that was it with the video, guys. I hope you learned something. To quickly summarize, make first of all sure that your melodic idea is good, so the chords and the melody fit together really well and you like it. Then pick the right sounds from the beginning, like the lead sound you want to have and also the layers, that they work together, and also the individual sounds itself, you know. And then afterwards, when you realize the drop still misses some power, just add some more layers to the leads, to the mid bass, or even to the chords, depending on which sound it needs. Thanks for watching, follow me on Instagram, and we see us in the next one. Ciao.